7 Action News starts right now with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news taking us to Detroit's east side, where police are investigating a serious crash at Chalmers and Young. You can see multiple wrecked cars on scene. Police closed off the area with crime scene tape. Neighbors tell us that they heard gunshots in the area. We're asking about injuries. We'll keep you posted here on air and online at WXYZ.com. But for now, let's switch gears and get a look at your morning forecast on this first day of 2024. Morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, Allie. That's right. We'll see these temperatures holding steady near the freezing mark, and we picked up some rain and even some snow just yesterday, which means if the roads are still wet with temperatures like this, we could have some slick spots, so just be aware of that. Detroit's at 32, Lapeer's at 29. Lots of clouds out there, but also some peaks of some clearing, so that's always nice as well. You can actually see that right there, some peaks of sun or peaks of clear skies that would lead to sun later on today, but lots of clouds to fight regardless. And highs today will climb into the mid to low 30s, so not very warm for today with those flurries passing through. Those winds from the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour or greater could lead to some wind chill numbers as well. We'll see temps bouncing back to the 40s tomorrow, but then we're tracking snow. We'll talk about that coming up.
Checking out the morning drive, and overall, we're looking good. A lot of people have the holiday off, so our freeways are moving smoothly. It's a 15-minute drive on I-75 southbound from M59 to 696, a 13-minute drive on I-96 eastbound from US 23 to I-275. A live look now at our roads from one of our MDOT cameras. We're peeking at traffic here at the Lodge and 8 Mile, where we are moving smoothly. Well, the new year brings sweeping changes to gun laws here in Michigan. The changes stem from the mass shootings at Oxford High School in 2021 and at Michigan State University last year. 4 students lost their lives in the Oxford shooting, and 3 were killed in the mass shooting at MSU. Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed the new laws with the hopes of saving lives by reducing gun violence. 7 Action News reporter Peter Maxwell joins us now with what gun owners need to know.
I spent a little bit of my weekend going through these laws and trying to simplify them for the viewers at home, and these are the important ones you need to know when it comes down to firearms. The first one is safe gun storage. The second one is gun locks, then universal background checks, followed by red flag laws, and then domestic violence regulations. A new year means new state laws, and when it comes to firearms, there are several bills that state lawmakers passed and sent over to the governor's desk for her to sign in an attempt to address gun violence in our state. If you're a firearm owner, you must lock your guns in the presence of anyone under the age of 18. If a minor obtains a firearm that is not stored properly, the gun owner could face 93 days in jail. Now, if the minor obtains that firearm and hurts someone with it, the gun owner could be found guilty of a felony punishable up to 5 years in jail. But if that minor uses that unsecured firearm and kills someone with it, that gun owner could be charged with a felony and face up to 15 years in prison. And fines for not securing your firearm properly range from $500 to $5,000. And paired with gun storage is gun safety devices. In 2023, Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed a pair of bills eliminating the sales tax on any gun locks or storage devices. This was to encourage gun owners to safely secure their guns when they are not using them. Next up is a new law concerning universal background checks. Now, anyone buying a gun must undergo a universal background check to also obtain a license. New state red flag laws will be going into effect also on February 13th. Now, these new laws are not in any way aimed at taking away a gun or stripping one of their Second Amendment right. These new laws will be put into place to prevent a gun owner in distress or having a mental health crisis from harming themselves or others. A judge will have the ultimate discretion by issuing this emergency short-term order and determining whether or not the gun owner is a threat. Finally, domestic violence regulations. The new law will now cover those who have been charged with a domestic violence misdemeanor-related charge, and those people who have been charged with one of those will not be able to own or possess a weapon up to 8 years. The old law only covered those who were charged with a domestic violence-related felony. For more information, you can head to our website, WXYZ.com. Reporting in Detroit, I'm Peter Maxwell, 7 Action News.
Peter, thank you. There are new laws going into effect in Michigan this year. Most take place on February 13th. That's 90 days after the legislature convenes. One exception is Michigan's minimum wage law. Hourly pay is now up nearly a quarter from $10.10 an hour to $10.33 an hour. Then in February, Michigan will become the first state in nearly 60 years to toss out a right-to-work law. Right-to-work allows people in unionized workplaces to skip paying union dues and fees. Michigan will also close a chapter of its Read by Grade 3 law. Since 2016, schools have been encouraged to hold back students if their reading levels were more than one grade level behind. Starting in February, schools will be required to notify parents that their children are falling behind and offer intervention options. Well, tonight, the #1 Michigan Wolverines will go against #4 Alabama Crimson Tide. The Wolverines, it's their third straight season in the college football playoffs. However, Michigan has not won a national championship since 1997. So, as you can imagine, a lot is at stake. 7 Action Sports Director Brad Galley is in Pasadena, California, with what we can expect from today's game.
Michigan is here in Pasadena, ready to compete in the college football playoff for a third consecutive season. The last 2 New Year's Eve games, the Wolverines have had a familiar image, leaving the field and looking back, first at Georgia celebrating, and then at TCU. Ringing in the new year, this time against Alabama, what better stage is there in all of college football to create a new set of images with the celebration at the Rose Bowl?
You know, your dreams can come true, your goals can come true. Our team was very definite on this is where they wanted to be. This was one of their goals, the goal, and it's where we hope for, what we work for. You know, exactly where we want to be, and now we're just ready to have at it.
Definitely feels a little different because it's the Rose Bowl. It's a little more iconic and a bigger bowl, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Got to win regardless. So after these last 2 years, just not getting it done. Can't have that anymore, and we all know what we need to do.
Leave it to the offensive line to offer up some wisdom. Trevor Keegan said in year 1 against Georgia, Michigan was maybe just happy to be there. Year 2 against TCU, he admitted they overlooked the Horned Frogs.
There's going to be pressure regardless of what the narrative is, so I feel like we expected that and we predicted that, so it's therefore manageable, and you know, we just focus on what we're doing on a day-to-day basis and just being able to not go at it on a day-to-day basis with full pads every single day like we have kind of in the past. And it's been tremendous for our bodies, tremendous for our minds, and you know, we'll see if it pays off this Monday.
It's just something crazy to think about, you know, that all 3 years we're going to be playing meaningful postseason football, you know what I mean? It's not like we're playing in some other bowl game. You know, this really means something. This is giving me an opportunity to work for something that's going to be around for the rest of my life, something that in 50 years, you know, I'll come back and see these guys and we'll get together and we'll talk about why this was so meaningful.
Alabama has won 6 consecutive games in the college football playoff, but Jim Harbaugh, trying to take lessons from the last 2 appearances here, slowed down the practice schedule at the beginning and said he wanted to get rest the night before. Confidence sky high on both sides, and Harbaugh said this could be a game of the century. In Pasadena with Michigan ahead of the Rose Bowl, Brad Galley, 7 Action Sports.
Brad, thank you kindly. Well, you could say that the Lions pulled off the most incredible win on the road in Dallas until they didn't. It is the flag that people have not stopped talking about since it happened. It was thrown in the final moments of Saturday night's primetime game, and now a report from ESPN says the NFL is expected to downgrade the officiating crew led by Brad Allen. Now, during the game, Jared Goff threw a pass that was caught in the end zone by Taylor Decker for the 2-point conversion. Decker said that he reported as eligible under NFL rules to the officiating crew. However, the crew reported a different player as eligible and flagged Decker for illegal touching. The call possibly costing the Lions any chance in the #1 seed. And this is video showing Decker checking in. You can see his number right there. Come on, guys. The Lions totally earned that win. Time right now is 7:09. Changes to tourism in Europe. The new rules that you should be aware of if you're planning an Italian getaway. You're watching 7 Action News this morning on TV 20 Detroit.